Hey YouTube, we are at Flagpole Knob and we are headed to the Mud Pit. That's the next major obstacle at Flagpole Knob. This should be probably the 8th video in the series, and I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner so you can binge watch like the rest of the series if you want to see the other parts of Flagpole Knob. So we are on the side where we are headed down to Union Springs, and like I mentioned in an earlier video, you can do Flagpole Knob in 2 directions, and even you could opt out of even doing half of it, because you could go up the Union Springs side and then turn around and come right back down the Union Springs side, or you could go up the lake side and then turn around and go back down the lake side. The lake side is the easier side. The Union Springs side is the slightly more technical but not impossible by any means side. We're doing the whole thing. We're not like just staying on one side of the mountain, just so we can actually see the entire trail. So there is a rock climb up here that, and I want to use that word very, very minorly when I say rock climb. It's a very tiny obstacle. Like, we've already started on the obstacles, so don't like blink, like I was saying, on these obstacles. They are very small little like hill climbs and rock climbs, like whatever, and right there you can see right in front of me the rocks I'm talking about. And for anybody that's seasoned, they're gonna be like, really, like that's a bump, like. But for a brand new person that has never taken their Jeep out, this is actually kind of scary for them, and they usually get a little bit excited, and they also are very happy over making it over an obstacle like that when you spot them through it. So this is, like I was saying, kind of like a series of obstacles that are very minor, very small obstacles, but there is a variety of obstacles here, and that kind of makes it like a good place for beginners, like to take them up and let them kind of experience it. And there's enough of like green, easy, flat trail between each obstacle that they don't feel like they're getting stressed out. Because some people, like when they first get started, start to feel very stressed out if you just throw like a lot of stuff at them. They get frustrated. Where if you give them like a little, like 30 seconds or even a couple minutes of struggling on an obstacle, and then a nice little 20-second or 20-minute breather between each set of obstacles, it kind of helps ease beginners into to this sport, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I guess put in the comments if you don't think this is a sport, if you think it's a hobby or whatever. Like, I don't really know what the term is. And you can see here, I mean, it is something. It's not that much of an obstacle, but it is something, and it is something that you probably could do in 2-wheel drive, honestly. So the mud pit is like right close to where we're at. Like, it's literally just like up the hill, and the mud pit is essentially the last major obstacle at like Flagpole Knob. There's another obstacle that will be in the next video that is very, very minor, and we are not even really sure if it's actually part of Flagpole Knob. So that's interesting. You just saw like he actually got stuck on this, even though I'm kind of sounding a little like a jerk about how easy this is. He actually did have to back up and find a different line. But no, that happens. It does. He lost some traction. So like I said, these are obstacles. They're not something to just kind of completely ignore. So now we're just going to continue up the hill, and yeah, we're in a little different order now because we were. But that's fine. We'll like get back in order. The order doesn't really matter. So the mud pits are up here, and I'm sort of assuming that the amount of mud is going to be based on what time of year it is, and maybe it's more wet during certain points in the year, and then more dry in other points of the year, depending on how much it's the middle of summer or not. We're in the middle of winter, but it's a warm day in the middle of winter. So and this was filmed, I think, on the first day of March. If that fell on a Saturday, or maybe it was the second day of March. It was like pretty close to the beginning of March when we filmed this, 2020. And you're probably seeing this like a couple weeks like after we filmed it, but that's how it normally works because we have to edit the videos and stuff. And This is kind of like a free-for-all area. It's like a playground, sort of, so to speak, where you can just, play in the mud. And obviously, this is not very deep mud, but once again, it is an area that you can play, and it is an area that is pretty safe to let like a new person kind of experiment around. So that kind of makes it safe and fun. So seeing this is the last major obstacle area, this is kind of where everybody stopped to just hang out. And I guess the guide was kind of thinking that people were going to be driving around in a circle for a while. But I mean, a couple of Jeeps like went around once or twice, and then we were just like, okay, yeah, well, this is kind of getting old. And this essentially is like near the end of our trip, and everybody's just sort of wanting to hang out, and I guess not like in the trail, even though we're pretty close to the end. And you can see these Jeeps that are around us. I mean, I believe they're all daily drivers, street legal and everything. Mine being the one with the largest tires, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, big tires are not really needed for up here. And you can just see, this would be a good place to take new people.